Daniel Hulme, thanks for stopping by. We wanted to understand a little bit more about, some of the challenges that you're facing now as the Chief AI Officer for the whole of WPP. It's quite a responsibility there. Can you tell us a little bit about, some of the journey that you've taken in that role over the last 4 years?
Yeah, well, my company was acquired 4.5 years ago, so before AI happened for most people, and I've got 20 years of experience in building AI solutions for large organizations. And so my job at the moment inside WPP is understanding how to do two things. One is how do we identify challenges across our supply chain where we can differentiate ourselves, from content creation to understanding how audiences perceive ads to creativity. There are broadly 7 core problems across marketing, and we're packaging all of that up, and that's what superpowers WPP Open, our marketing platform. And unlike some industries where actually AI is probably not going to be completely disruptive to them, if you're growing things, if you're distributing goods, generative AI is probably not going to make a dent in solving those problems. If you're creating ads, you can now do it in seconds instead of months. So our industry is being completely transformed. And so the second part of my job is understanding what do we need to do to disrupt ourselves? And that's actually our answer is WPP Open Pro. So how can we come up with a platform that is now available to the long tail of customers out there that can't afford traditional large agencies? And how do we leverage that knowledge and data that's been created by that long tail to make sure that we have the best platform in the world?
Awesome. And reflecting a little bit on your panel discussion, you did mention these superpowers through these creative agents. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the early adopters in the network? Are there some particular disciplines in what the agency does that have been more lenient towards using these super agents versus others?
Yeah. There's a term a long time ago called shadow IT, which is where people were using technology, using their own credit cards, etc., outside the boundaries of their organization. So people essentially using technology without the organization knowing. There's now a term called shadow AI, which is essentially people using AI to do their job without the organization knowing. We saw this coming a long time ago. So WPP have a dual strategy. One is how do we empower and enable our employees to utilize AI, to utilize agents to enable them to do their job more effectively, and also how do we have a centralized resource which is Satalia, which is the company that I sold to the WPP, to build super agents. So we enable people to innovate at the edge, and I think we have something like 70,000 agents that have been created by people in the organization to help them do their work more effectively. And then how do we build these super agents to embed the knowledge, the data, the capability of our geniuses, from creativity to media planning, to make sure that they are accessible to that community. And so that dual strategy is working really well, enabling people to innovate and having a centralized service to build differentiated solutions.
Wow, that sounds pretty awesome, and congratulations on being acquired. So it's a great story to tell. Now, because there are so many different personalities in the networks through their own acquisitions that they've done in the past, how flexible is what you're building? How flexible in terms of adopting into some of the ethoses and values that each of those agencies bring to their clients? And how consistent could it be in terms of, bringing enough trust for enterprises?
Well, in some respects, marketing is trying to figure out what the future looks like and helping brands and our clients understand how to navigate that future. So we've got to be ahead of the game, and I'd like to think we are. We've got the talent to be able to do that. From an agency perspective, from an organizational perspective, AI happened 3.5 years ago for most people, and Mark Reed, the CEO at the time, saw this as being a transformational technology, and actually it was a catalyzing event, catalyzing technology to bring everybody around a shared vision, a common vision, which we're very now fortunate that Cindy Rose is all in on AI and understands that this is going to be completely transformational to our organization and transformational to our clients. So what's happening now is our relationship with our clients is not just providing marketing services, helping them understand how to navigate, implement AI across their organization.
It's fantastic that you have that C-level endorsement and support. I think that's always one of the key drivers, right? To have that waterfall effect. So if I could ask you a little bit about, how do we define trust now that AI has been sprinkled across a lot of the disciplines in an agencies? How would you kind of wrap that up in terms of something that, a lot of our subscribers and readers are from, creative agencies or they're from brands, but it's good for them to walk away with something a little bit more tactful and practical.
Yeah, I think two things. One is AI is a tool. I know we hear that over and over again, but the tool has no intent. AI doesn't have intent. It's human beings that have intent, and it's the intent that needs to get scrutinized from a trust perspective. It's how you use these tools, what you use them for, that needs to get scrutinized. And the evidence I've seen now being in this industry for the past 4 or 5 years is that the intent is authentic, and we try to use these technologies responsibly. The second thing to think about is how we can use these technologies actually to improve the experience of the overall client and customer. So AI is, like I say, a superpower now to enable us to come up with ideas that will connect people more effectively to brands, to be able to evidence the value of their products to the end user, and also evidence the value of the company to the world. So what we're going to see over the coming years are companies creating content that emphasizes the value of their products to the consumer and the value of the companies to the world, which I think is a very exciting transition.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And just lastly, so can trust survive with audiences knowing that AI has been implemented behind the scenes, and how are you guys challenging that?
I think it all comes back to the intent of the client. The intent of the client is to produce goods and disseminate those goods that typically enrich people's lives. Our goal as a marketing industry is to help best represent those goods. I don't think it's about the content. I think you could slightly doctor an image. Is that AI? Or you could create an image from AI. Like what is the boundary of what is AI and what is not? Ultimately, it's sort of irrelevant. What's relevant is that you're producing authentic content that is genuine to the values of the company and the value of the product.
Thank you for stopping by, Daniel. Great talking to you.